In this video, we are going to be looking at Laravel MVC architecture. In our previous video, we have looked about how to install and set up our Laravel. Now we are looking at the architecture. So what's the meaning of MVC? M stands for the model, V for the view, and C for the controller. Now we are now going to be looking at a function of each one of them. So now let's look at for the model. In the MVC pattern, the model represents the data layer of the application. That's the model is where our data has been saved or stored. In Laravel, models are PHP classes that encapsulate the business logic and interact with the database. What do we mean by that? The model is where we normally give the database the pattern is going to use. Each model typically corresponds to a database table, allowing developers to perform database operations like querying, inserting, updating, and deleting records. In our database, that's where we can delete our database. Maybe, for example, we have an application. We want to allow someone, a user, to sign up or to sign in. To sign up, we are collecting the data. The data is being saved in the database. So, but our database, our model allow us to interact with the database to delete that record of the person or update it if the person wants to update his data or is just signing up for the first time. Laravel Eloquent ORM, that's object relational mapping, makes working with databases seamless by providing an intuitive syntax for defining and manipulating database records. So that Laravel Eloquent make it easy for us to interact with database. As we have already said, model is one that interacts with the database to collect data from the database and also send data to the database. So now the next one is the view. The view layer is responsible for presenting data to the user and handling user interface interaction. The view is what we see. The user, what the user is seeing on his system, on laptop, desktop, or phone is the view. So that's where he is going to interact with the server. And now views are typically stored in the resources view. So how can we get the views from our Laravel application? This is the location from the resources. Then we click on it, we see our views directly, and are written in Blade. Blade is a templating engine that enables us to write our HTML in our view and make it easy instead of us writing a pure PHP file. So our Blade engine enables us to write merge the PHP and the HTML to be in line with the Laravel application and make it easy. This allows developers to write clean and expressive templates with features like template inheritance, control structures, and more. These can include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and dynamic content rendered using data passed from the controller. So now let's look at the third one, which is the controller. The controller acts as an intermediary between the model and the view. What do we mean by that? Is the controller what do we mean by it? Acts as an intermediary between the model and the view. When a data is being sent or a request is being made from the view, the request is sent to the controller. The controller now processes it. If it needs a data from the model, then they send it to the model. The model send give a response back to the controller, and the controller then give it back to the view. So that's what we said is an intermediary between both of them. And the view handling incoming HTTP requests, processing data, and return an appropriate response. Controllers in Laravel are PHP classes stored in the app PHP controllers. That's where we can see our controllers. We go to our app after installing our app. In the last video, we show how to install our Laravel app, and we have seen from the installation we saw our app. From the app we open it, we are going to see our HTTP. From there we see our controllers directly, and are responsible for defining methods or actions. This is where we define our methods, our functions. In the controller we define our functions either to store information, to update an information, to delete information. All these are carried out in the controller that correspond to different route or endpoints in the application. Within controller methods, developers can interact with models to fetch or manipulate data, because controller, that's where the control unit is. Let me put it that way, because controller controls everything in the system, starting from the creating, the updating, the deleting, the storing. Everything is done in from the controller. And even if you want to search the database, we use the controller to manipulate the search engine to search the database. Okay, within controller method, developers can interact with models or to fetch or manipulate data, and then pass that data to the appropriate view for rendering. Okay, so let's look at this. This is the user. What we are talking about, let's look at it. Visca pictorial view. This is the user. This is what he's seeing. This is the view he's seeing. This is what he's seeing on his laptop. That's the view. Then he sends a message, a request, using the HTTP. Means it's going to any in the URL its place. So he's seeing the view. The view now send the data to the controller. Request data. Is sending it to the controller. Is requesting information from the controller. The controller send it to the model, and the model on the long run request to the database, and the database give response back to the model. The model now give reply to the controller back, and the controller give it back to the view, and the user is now seeing it from the view. He's now seeing it back from the system. So it sends from the view. From the view renders are being request from the controller, and the controller request and send back to the controller as well. The controller sends and receive from the model, and the model send or request from the database. So this is the MVC architecture of Laravel. Other programming language too, they are using the architecture, but in this regard I'm talking about Laravel MVC architecture. Hope this video is useful, and for we to understand this is very important, because this will enable us for our application to be smooth and seamless if we know the architecture behind what we are doing. In our next video, we are going to be looking at how to create and manage our routes. So please stay tuned. If you like, share and subscribe to my videos. If you have any question regarding it, you can message me. Thank you for watching.